Hello, all. This is Mike, www.utom.org. And I just wanted to, I've waited a few weeks before I shared my thoughts on what's going on right now in America, what's going on around the world, actually, right now with the riots that's going on, the anger, the violence, the oppression, all of this stuff that seems to be happening right now in our world. I wanted to share a few thoughts on this. I gave it a few weeks before because I don't want to come across on any side except the creators. And most anything I say for some people is going to be wrong anyway because the color of my skin, um, because of quote white privileges and things of this nature. Or, if I was black, the white people wouldn't listen to me because I don't understand. So you see where I'm going. But as a person from the state of Alabama living in Georgia who loves the Torah, who loves the Creator, I wanted to share a few thoughts of what I believe is actually going on. Now, first of all, I need to share with you one of my favorite shows, which many of you will be disgusted with, would probably be The Walking Dead. And when we watch The Walking Dead, we are watching a show about a some kind of virus outbreak, and basically all of humanity has um, basically some kind of virus, plague, or whatever. And when you die, your body regenerates and you become a zombie. And once you become a zombie, you eat is all you do. That's the only thing that your body wants to do is eat. And it's a show about the survival between the zombies, but it also gets into the influences too between humanity in crisis situations. Okay, so we know that according to teachings within the Zohar, that we basically have a 99% reality. In other words, um, 100% of God consciousness down to 1%, which is unfortunately where many people live today. And that 1% of consciousness, basically, you eat, you sleep, kill, sex, food, entertainment. And I put the entertainment in there. I don't know if that's one of them, but it sure should be. So many of people upon this planet today stay within that 1% reality of consciousness up to the creator. And we see this because within our culture today, sports, entertainment, violence, video game, sexual diseases, pregnancies outside of marriages, pregnancies before marriages, abortion, um, convenience, fast food. Uh, we'll keep on and keep on. This is what our generation today is known by. We look at our music. Majority of our music deals with sexuality, and that's not just rap. That's rock and roll. I grew up in the '80s. I know all about this. Most of our music deals with sexuality, violence, uh, hatred. We call women bitches. Just to be honest with you, women have become objects of sexuality because of the porn industry. Women are no longer our equals or our uh, cohabitants or our mates. They are actually our slaves that we take out our sexual fantasies on. So we see what our modern culture today has created, and it's been worked on for a long time. People, if you don't believe that Hollywood, our politicians, and all of these people are trying to numb us down to the point that we just become obedient sheep, that we do whatever we're told, you need to wake up because there is something happening. And the Creator has warned this over and over again. Majority of the religions are there to keep us in line, there to keep us listening to those in charge. And, we have our rabbi, we have our preacher, we have our imams, we have these people that we fully trust to give us the sources of truth. And there are good rabbis, there are good teachers, there's good imams, there's good people out there. I'm not saying there's not. But many of us depend upon these people to find everything. And the Creator in Genesis chapter 2 gives you a connection when He brings the soul down into a man. And see, we need to cover this for a second. Men at one time were like zombies. We hear about the quote cavemen and we hear about the pre-Adamic race and all this stuff. These people were basically just men without a soul. They just did the basic instincts to push along humanity, just like animals do today. Animals are just preserving their species, they're surviving, they're living, but they really don't have a way to to grow in consciousness of the creator. They do the best they can, but really they're living that reality that basically is there just to survive. And humanity was the same way until Genesis 2, when God brought down the soul to man. And at that point, we connected with the creator and our eyes were open and we realized that there was more to this life than just surviving. There's more to life than just video games. There's more to life than just what I need today. There's more to life than my sports. There's more to life than this. And people, this has taken me 55 years to come to this conclusion that I've wasted 55 years of my life. Now it's a journey, and I know the Creator has been had His hands on me the whole time. But now looking up, I see I have wasted a lot of my life just following the masses, doing what I thought was right. Now it brings me now to the riots. We are being played by those above us. We are being played by the powers that be. We are being played on racial. We're being played by distrust. We're being played by our politicians. We're being played by everybody because we are in the framework now. Humanity is listening to the press. They're listening to these leaders, Republican, Democrat, I don't care which one you are, and we're doing exactly what they say. We are living in that 1% reality of the Creator. How do we break this? No, it's not by going downtown and burning buildings up and getting on Facebook and fighting back and forth and it's not about any of that. What it's about is in your time, instead of your video games and all of this stuff, you need to actually start trying to connect to the Creator. You need to start opening your awareness of the Creator and who He is. I would start with the Torah. I would start with the first 5 books of Moses. I would start learning how to act as human beings with a consciousness and a soul level. I would learn to act the laws of what's going on now. That man that took that man's life up in Minnesota. I'm not going to use black and white because it's humanity. They bleed just like me. They have a heart, lungs, brain capacity. The skin color doesn't matter at this point. It was pure murder. And the Torah deals with that. The Torah deals with when you kill somebody like that, what has to happen to you. The laws today are not the laws of the Creator. I mean, they are laws. They need to be tweaked. Thank God we have a law system, but the laws have been polluted. The laws are wrong. The laws give too much leeway. The laws just are not exact. They're not quick enough. Now, if it was a situation that we didn't know what really happened and we didn't see it happening, okay, I can see an investigation. But in the Torah, judgment's fast. Whatever way judgment happens, it has to be fast. So I'm not going to make this much longer. I just want to say that if you really want to raise your awareness and your conscious level out of this 1% reality to where you're listening to these people, you're listening to the KKK, you're listening to Black Lives Matters, you're listening to Anfada, you're listening to all of these groups out there that are causing division and tearing society down, I suggest that you plug into the Torah, you start in Genesis, and you start reading. And I suggest that you get some commentary out there of some of the great sages that lived before us to help you understand what is really going on. Because if you believe the story of Adam and Eve in the garden the way it in the plain text, you're missing everything. There's so much deeper picture there in the garden than what you are being taught in Sunday school and in church and in wherever you may go. What's going on is the basis of our survival in this reality. If we don't reach up now and we don't bring down that upper consciousness, the light of the Creator, if we don't start bringing down the wisdom from above, and we just die in the cesspool that we're living in now. See, the Zohar teaches, and it's going to be hard to describe, but the Zohar teaches is there is a pattern in which light moves. In other words, there's a continual movement of light from top to bottom. And what's happening is humanity is stagnated in that 1%. So when the light gets to the bottom, it's stagnated and cannot move like it wants to. So we have an absence of light, is what we have. People, I'm begging you. I am pleading with you. I am asking with you. Find yourself some good teaching, not religion's teaching. I ain't teaching you Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I'm teaching you light, to seek the creator. Yes, you can find him in each of these. I'm not saying you can't. And I'm not saying all paths lead to truth. I'm just saying seek your own self. Read in the Torah. Find you some basic commentary out there on what you're reading. There's some good ones. Pinium of the Torah. Hold on, let me see if I can find you one real fast. Excuse me one second. I wasn't prepared to do this. But some basic understandings that I don't have. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling right now. I feel stupid, but I have them here. Okay, well, maybe I can't find them right now, but maybe I can link them later on. One good thing is to go to ArtScroll, which isn't the greatest, and get you a Hamish and get you a Tanakh. They got plenty of good notes by Rashi and other peoples like that. You can also buy other volumes with the great sages in there. One of my favorite ones, which many people don't recommend, but I love. It's called The Legends of the Jews. And this combines the Midrash, the Torah, and Kabbalistic insights within the stories. And you get some things that you don't get within the regular Torah. Very, 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 very good. And then it's a little pricey, but there's also what we call the Torah analogy, which will totally change the way that you see things happening. And really, eventually, one day, I hope your goal is to get within the Zohar, but you can't really just jump into that unless you're really studying with somebody who knows, what's going on. I mean, to help you along the way. And then another good one that I recommend is the Rambam's uh, right here, The Laws of the Kings, The Laws of Idol Worship. You start getting into books like this and you start understanding. And then you start, getting like the Baal Shem Tov's uh, book right here on Genesis and Exodus. This is just a few things that really can help you in your growth. Learn. Um, Here's another one too. I like a lot. This is a very good book by Copland. But there's plenty of things out there. One more and I'll stop. This is a great book too, The Heavenly Torah. So there's plenty of other things. That's just a few illustrations that I would recommend. But instead of getting there with your video games, instead of getting in there with your TV and sports and things of this nature, letting it consume and impress you, start reading. Download books on your Kindles, on your iPads, on your phones. Just start reading. Start reading books and everything that's going to expand your knowledge of the Creator, and learn to elevate your thought process. And then you're going to start learning how to give charity. You're going to start learning how to respect the individual and don't do unto others as you would not have them do unto you. That's the correct wording from Hillel. You're going to learn how to treat your equals. You're going to learn how not to do things to keep from offending people. No, we'll never live in a perfect world at this time, but we've got to start creating an atmosphere that we can bring more light into our area. We got to start bringing more light down. And when we start bringing more light down, we'll start seeing that man, that black man, the Hispanic man, whatever, you don't see skin color no more. You see a human being. And we start elevating that human being to where we're all doing more charity, more goodness, more mitzvot. We're loving each other. And this is for all people, Jew, non-Jew, Islam. We all can be to a place to where we can truly love one another. Stop being played. Stop. Yes, justice needs to be done. Judge reform needs to happen within the police department and our law enforcement, our court systems. It has to be. But don't kill each other and hate each other and destroy things to try to make your point. Let's elevate our consciousness. Let's elevate who we are and be better people and treat each other better. Shalom. Till next time. I hope this helps a little bit. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But I do know the one. I do know the person. Not the person. I know the being who has all the answers, and we're learning. So rise yourself up above this consciousness that we're living in now. Let's elevate our thoughts. Let's elevate our spirituality. Let's elevate our thoughts of our fellow human beings. And let's grow. And let's get out of this muck and stop being played by our politicians and people around us and our religious authorities. We are human beings. We are the human race. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to change us. It's up to you. Thank you.